My name is Bill Thorpe. I'm a candidate for Legislative District 26, CP, running against Sally Toon, the Marxist Democrat from Blaine County. And I just have one question for all voters, Republican or Democrat. If you like the way things are going now, Seattle, Portland, Antifa, then you should vote Democratic because it's going to continue. And there goes my highly publicized press release. Thank you. But the other thing I wanted to say is I got involved in this race because no one was going to run against Sally. And I feel like as Republicans, we are all given the opportunity to make sure that the Democrats somehow get thrown out. So that's why I'm running. Sally, in her website, she talks about being an independent and not Democratic. If you looked at her voting record, she is pure down the line Democrat. Some of the issues I'll talk about in a minute, there's no question what side of the spectrum that she's on. By way of background, I moved across the U.S. I'm a financial person, chief financial officer, controller. I'm now retired, and I became a general contractor in Idaho, and I buy, rehab, and sell houses. And so that's been keeping me fit and keeping me out of my wife's hair, so I'm enjoying that. I'm a lifelong Republican. As a youngster, my parents would have me go around posting Goldwater signs and putting them in, and I must say I was also removing some LBJ signs at the time. Make sure we know about that. But you touched a little bit on Ronald Reagan. Clearly I'm trying to wrap myself in the flag. But, you know, one thing about Ronald Reagan, you know, the 11th commandment, thou shalt not speak ill of other Republicans. And again, as Republicans, we only have to agree 80% of the time. As Janice said, we're not going to agree 100% on everything, but we have to agree on what the fundamental objective is. It's let's beat the Democrats and keep the state red. If we talk about issues, Sally says we don't spend enough on education. We spend half the state budget on education. Yeah. My question for Sally is, okay, what's the right number then? Is it 80% of the budget? Is it 100% of the budget? Should we borrow $400 million a year and spend that on education? And what I'd like to know is I'd like to see something, I've been unable to find it, which says, yes, there is a direct result when you spend more per student, increase the level of spending, you get a better result. I've yet to find that. So to me, I think we have enough money. I think the issue is we need to be more effective in where we spend it. So that's going to be one of the key issues that I want to focus on. The other one, you know, the Second Amendment. I think it's interesting. You know, if you look through history, if you look at the major changes in governments around the world over time, what's the first thing they did? What's the first thing the Nazis did? What's the first thing Stalin did? What did Chairman Mao do? They take all the guns away because they're afraid of a populace that has guns. Sally was asked, do you support the Second Amendment? Oh, I'm a big hunter. My family is a big hunter. She was asked again, do you support the Second Amendment? Would you do everything you can to defend the Second Amendment as written in the Constitution? Oh no, I'm a big hunter. I hunt. Da, da, da. That means no. I will defend the Second Amendment of the United States. I believe in it. I own guns, and I think they're what keeps an out-of-control government at bay.
Woo! Woo! Yeah. Amen!
I have applause line here. The Electoral College, this one gets me. We live in Idaho. Does she understand why the founders set up the Electoral College? Because they were afraid of the impact New York and Philadelphia were going to have on the Constitution. They were fearful of being dominated by the large population centers, and that's why they set it up. And that's why it exists today. And quite frankly, they may be labeled by the socialist, Marxist, Antifa Democrats as slave-owning homophobics, but they were smart people and they were divinely inspired. So let's break up the Blaine County triumvirate. Let's elect some Republicans. Go to thorpeidaho.com. Go to my website. Donate illegal amounts of money. Thank you very much for your time in here. I will ask Sally to get back to the audience.